Hello! Thank you for joining me again on another photography vlog. The theme for today is taking photographs in your neighborhood. I am here at my local park. Really, it's about 5 minutes from where I live. The last time I was out taking photographs was the first weekend of November. So it's been 3 weeks and I got that itch. For those of you who are photographers, you know about that itch. So the goal today is to find photographs here. Now, you don't have to go to the far-flung reaches to go to the epic spots to get photographs. Now, those are fine, and believe you me, I have a bucket list of the places I want to go, but sometimes when you go to those places and it's just sitting there right in front of you, the beautiful photographs are teed up for you, and sometimes you don't really have to think. But when you're in a situation like this, you do have to think a little bit to try to find the photographs. Now, of course, if you live in Moab, you have Arches National Park and Canyonlands National Park in your backyard. So that's perfectly fine. I understand that. But if you're in an area that doesn't have any of those types of spots, then you can come to your local park. And my goal here is to find some photographs. Whether I do or not, that's another story, because I haven't planned anything out. I don't have any expectations, and really that's the fun of it. That's when you are able to really grow and become a better photographer. And you do that by thinking, looking for those photographs, allowing your creativity to expand. So I'm going to go ahead and walk around, try to find some photographs, and we'll see what we can find. So thank you again for joining me, and let's get started. Well, I made it down to the creek, and it's not as colorful down here as I thought it was going to be. It's not as pretty either, but when you're in your local area, and here in Columbia, Maryland, they plan the actual city to be connected, all of the neighborhoods to be connected with trails through the forest. And it is really nice here. But from the street, it looked like there was a lot more color down here beside the creek. But that's really the whole point, isn't it? That where there seemingly is not a photograph, there is one. But the thing about it is that you have to use your creativity to find it. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time just looking around and seeing what I can find. I do have one little thought here. There's a little colorful tree right here across the creek that I might take the photograph of and just see what I can do in terms of, there's some falling colored leaves in the water. There's a little trickles of the water between the rocks, so I'm going to see what I can do in finding a photograph. As I was looking around, I found these two colorful leaves in the water. and it's surrounded by rocks and water going across. It looks like a real pretty shot. What I like about this composition is that there is a larger red leaf that is sort of angled, and then there's a smaller leaf just right below it, and the tip top of that leaf is connected to the stem of the top leaf. And I think that's an interesting juxtaposition there and makes a pretty composition. Now, one of the things that we're talking about here is finding photographs locally. Now, as I mentioned just a moment ago, there wasn't as much color as I thought there would be. So by just looking around and concentrating and sort of slowing down, I was able to find this composition. Maybe if I was hurrying and trying to find all this color and other types of rapids and things like that, I may have missed it. And I think it's a pretty composition here. So that's one of the things to keep in mind, that as you are going out and walking around, maybe there are parks in your area, find those photographs, because there's some pretty compositions to be had really almost anywhere you go, just as long as you slow down and you look. Well, I think that photograph turned out really well, so I'm really pleased with it. So I've come across the creek, and I'm going to take a photograph of that lone orange little tree that I showed a little bit earlier. Now, one of the problems that I have here is that for this composition, I can't really get high up. I might have to go back over to the other side of the creek and see what I can do, because it's mid-morning and it's a little bit overcast, so I don't know how that sort of flat sky is going to look in the back of the tree. But one of the interesting things I like about it is that we've got this orange tree here, and then you've got the larger trees in the back that are going at sort of somewhat frame and gives a little bit of a different backdrop. I might have to bracket this shot and blend it, or at least underexpose, to ensure that I don't blow out the highlights. But I'm going to give this a try, and let's see how it turns out. I decided to walk around a little bit to see if there was another vantage point, and I found a better vantage point, and I really like it. I have moved up a hill a little bit, and now my camera is pointing down towards the tree, and that's illuminating the sky, so I don't have to worry about the bracketing and the sky being overblown and all that. So this is really pretty. And another thing I like about it as well is that the tree is sort of bending over, so it makes it a little bit nicer. So I've got the bottom of the tree to the right of the frame, and then the leaves to the top and to the left. So this is going to be really pretty. I'm excited that I moved around and found this vantage point. And one of the things that I want you to keep in mind is that when you get out and when you go to one of these parks and you're finding these little compositions, these little vignettes, don't be satisfied with the first composition. As I mentioned earlier, some of the sky was blown out, so I had to deal with that. But I decided to walk around and look at other angles, and I'm so glad I did, because I was able to find, I think, a better composition that really didn't need for me to worry about the sky. Now, I can go into post-processing. I still think that first photograph is a really nice photograph. I can go into post-processing and deal with the overexposure. That's fine. But the point is that when you come to a place, whether it is the big iconic location, even if the scenery just is a home run and just tees it up for you, still work the scene. Don't just settle for that big iconic scene. There's nothing absolutely wrong with that, but look for some unique scenes there. And that's what I did. I moved around different angles of the tree and was able to find other compositions, and I believe better compositions. So let me just encourage you to get out. Don't be concerned if you can't get to those far-flung locations. Concentrate on your local area. You can find beautiful photographs in every season, and I would encourage you to do that. So thank you so much for joining me again on this photography adventure. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your support so much. And please, if you would, share this video. I'd like to get my videos out to as many people as possible, and I would greatly appreciate that. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe and hit that bell notification icon so that you'll be notified when I upload a video. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll probably take a few more photographs around the area, and I'll put those up at the end. So thank you again for joining me, and I look forward to bringing you along on another journey real soon. Thank you. Bye.